This seems to be a common sentiment among men. They are confused as to why women would marry men and then want them to change. Let's talk about it. First of all, I don't know what planet you live on. I live on Earth. And on this planet, things just fucking change all the time. I don't even want them to, but they do. And as a human being, even as an individual moving about my life, I have to evolve, change, and grow as a human being just to adapt to the changes that happen. And this is needing to be true in relationships. When you have two people moving through the world, the changes that occur to them, they necessitate the growth of those two people. And if one person is growing and changing and adapting to the realities of life and the other person is staying stagnant, the stagnant person becomes a dead weight. So change isn't something women are demanding. Change is just something that happens, and growth is required to be a human being on planet Earth. Secondly, there's a way in which my husband specifically changed after we got married. I didn't, he did. And that change is a little bit insidious, and I don't believe he meant it as malicious. But it became very clear to me that my husband, after we got married, he no longer experienced my love and affection. He felt entitled to consume it. This is a pattern I see repeated in straight romantic partnerships all the time. And I think it's a message that men are getting subliminally from society, that they feel entitled to consume the utility of women in their lives, specifically their romantic and closest partners. When I began to struggle in our marriage, I looked around. I believed my husband to be a good-willed human being, but I looked around at the way he treated everyone else, and it was different than the way he treated me. He was specifically treating me in a way that was in a way he would never treat another person. And he certainly didn't treat me that way before I became his wife. But after I was his wife, he felt okay with consuming my intelligence, my time, my utility, my body, and not being with me as a person, but consuming me as a person. So, sir, it's not women that are changing after marriage. It's women that are waking up to the fact that the men they feel most loved and connected to are content to consume them. And honestly, it's a gut-wrenching punch when you figure it out.
So, first of all, let's get into the hair. This is the look. I'm finishing up the ends to finish these little roly things. But this is the look. But we're going to take it off because it's too hot for that right now. Oh, I need to see. This is the video. Why women should be leaders. Like off rip in general in society running things, because there is no off switch for us for these things. She expresses this: men will be like this, like will not be like this in the beginning, and then they change, because you literally have a society that incentivizes, that tells them that there will be incentives for this, that tells them this is how they should be, that encourages, supports this, and when women complain, they will not address this. They will say it's you and you're the issue. And so, why women should be leaders? Because we don't need, like, I love this woman. She does the Facebook. Her Facebook is called Marriage is Happening. Well, you see it in the video. When women are doing these things, we don't need no incentives. We don't need you to do X, Y, Z. She made a video talking about how when it was time to like express these things that she needed, or there was an issue, there was a problem, she had to write out or say a whole dissertation to get him to see. And if he saw, then he would agree. And for the most part, it would be just a drainage to get him to listen, understand, and like take on this problem and solve it. Women we don't need that. Like we come wanting to do this at every opportunity, looking, what does this person need? What do you need? Like we're able to like take ourselves from this to be able to serve other people. That's what a leader does. A leader first is a servant. Like the things that women are taught is exactly what makes us able to do these things. Why we should be encouraging women and give them the tools for it. Because you will have women who maybe are weak, they're not capable, they're not wanting, will say, no, women should be leaders. Women are too emotional. Women can't do this. They can't do that. They need men. We need men for this. And for the most part, if you are this kind of woman and you are in that group of women, you should understand that that is a you problem. That is women like you who have this issue, and you perhaps need a man to think for you, make decisions for you, take upon these things so that you don't have to think, you don't have to deal with these things because you don't want that capacity. Women who have the strength, the capacity, the know-how should be supported to do so. It makes me think of when they bring up this story or the show or a study I think they did where it wasn't they put a group of men and a group of women out in the wild or in some island, and when they studied who did what, the men were able to build, they were able to do this, they were able to do that, but the women basically, if they were like, if this was a real life situation, would have died. Well, if you take women who are from a society who teaches them, who doesn't teach them and gives them the tools for survival skills, they don't think or think to like actually go towards these things, and for the most part are demonized and told, oh, that's masculine, oh, this is this, you should go and do XYZ because it's prettier, it's easier, women shouldn't do that, men should do that. Of course you're going to have women, if you now stick those women out in the wild, they will perish. But if you give women the capacity to want to be able to survive and want to do that and give them the tools, they will do that. And so it isn't a women can't do it, it's women aren't giving the tools and courage and supported to be leaders. And for the most part, men are incentivized to be this way. And so this is why feminism, when people are asking what is feminism fighting for, this, the fact that you will have this state of emergency because men are lonely and aren't getting sex, but women are complaining, hey, we need this, like this is what is happening. No one is listening and hearing, okay, well, we need to figure out what to do and get the men on board and recalibrate a lot of this so that these issues aren't happening in the home. But these are what's happening in the home, and you want women to care about male loneliness, and you have doctors and psychologists calling a state of emergency and how we should all figure out what to do to help. You don't give two shits about like women. You just want men to get what they want. You're not actually listening to the actual issues women are having and wanting to solve them, because that would create a thing for you to have to change as men. Men who are in power, men who are on these podcasts, these psychologists, these men who they themselves are probably like this, you would have to change and be the change and then teach this change. But you won't, because you will definitely get crucified, because the men and for the most part, the men and the weak women are on board for this arrangement so that the men can be on top and then I can be the soft lady and soft life, get my nails done, make me start the bread and be traditional wife, and everyone's on board. Most people are on board for a lot of that, which isn't working out, because for the most part it creates weak women and men like this who for the most part are weak leaders. Because how would you telling me you can lead when you outside working with others? You can lead. You don't need no incentives. You don't need no one to suck nothing, cook nothing for you to lead. You do this, and because you get to be seen as, oh, you're a great man, and you're incentivized that way outside, men for the most part will, like, you will learn to lead. You will do the things to be leaders so that you can get your praise and adorations outside. But you will not do that at the house. You will come in the house, clock out from leading, and now you're expecting all these things from a woman, but you still want to be considered a leader and not a child and get the respect of a leader, but you turn it off. No, leading, there is no off switch. There is no clocking out. Many of us women know that. Like, there is no, like, we don't get a motherfucking break. And that's why it's beautiful to have two leaders, so that one can lead when you don't have to, you can lead when they don't have. Like, this is a delicious dance of collaboratings together. And so when I was in a group and a young lady posted, what can you say, older women, what can you teach younger women about men? And I had said 30 plus, but I should have said men in general, from young ages, will think and lean towards values like this that teaches you that this is marriage, this is masculinity, that this is acceptable and how they should be. And so I really love her videos, especially because she has videos with her husband who was like this and now sees the light. And I really want to listen to a lot of his story and see how this goes, because I just find it hard to believe you literally was over there like needing all these things, like you. But then again, if you as a man are taught from a young age that this is how you are, this is masculinity, this is what a woman should be and do, so you probably over there like this as a man, and you're thinking she's the one that's the problem. And so if you're and then I saw a video of his where he basically said like it was hard for him because this is the environment he's in with other men like this. So it's almost impossible for you to wake up if this is how all the men are. If most of the men are this way. And then if a man isn't that way, he's a simp, he gets ostracized, he gets demonized. And so the men who are actually doing the things right aren't encouraged and supported. They're being shunned and called all kinds of names. And so you as a man will go through this and maybe even turn into this monster because you see what happens. And so I tell the women, leave their ass. Because it just hurts me to know you are over there having to nag, having to plead, beg, drain yourself for a whole adult who knows how to do this outside, but then come in your face and play in your face like this. But the ladies want to say, many of them want to stay, and I'm just, y'all should not be saying nothing to women. Women are going through it, and y'all ain't saying nothing but adding on to the bullshit. Oh, and so what was the solution I gave to the women? I said to the lady who asked this, for young women, like, men are socialized to be this way, and 30 plus, they lean on conservative values, bullshit ass values that tell them these things, this is how they should be, and they should just be sitting on the chair while she does all these things, not actually be in the relationship with her. This is not what the men are being taught. So how do you combat this? Because at the end of the day, you never know. Like she even said, they can start off saying the things, but they can flip. So what do? Why this happens? Because at the end of the day, women, we decenter ourselves. We center these men, their things. We forget about our passions, our lives, our friends, what we wanted to do, our dreams. We go into this bullshit ass logic that society socializes us for us to do because we're supposed to be good women and good wives. Nah, fuck all that shit. Continue going out with your friends, making time for them, building your sisterhood. That is like point blank period. There is no not doing these things as a woman, or you will be lost. I have more videos to talk about these things, but these are the things you need to be like working on as a young woman, making sure you're still tending to your passions, your skills, the things you were wanting to do, full force, going full force, and not depending on him to support, do this, and if he's showing up to do these things, that's great. But it's on you to make sure you're doing these things. Going to the gym, keeping up your looks. If your ass was sexy and fine as fuck, you need to be content. You need to be sick. Don't play with me. Okay? Keep doing your makeup, get your hair done, do your things, the things that you love to do, keep doing all of it. You shouldn't even need to change none of that. Because that is literally your lifeblood. Like how you survive and thrive in these things, so that no matter what he does, whether he feels, he doesn't feel, you are on point with your things. And then if his ass is draining your ass, let him know. You can leave. And don't be afraid to motherfucking stand on that. As women, we have to be grown. We cannot be like these women who are weak, talking about they need men, they need this. And there's nothing wrong with the need to depend on a partner, but to actually turn your brain off and think, I can be a child and he will be grown and he will lead us, is literally the reason why women are made weak and the men are weak, and you lose yourself as a woman, and then you create and feed into this system of bullshit that is now plaguing on other women. And so now everything you want to do as a woman is bad. Everything you think and need as a woman is bad. But now, You need these things so you can even be this person in this relationship. Oh, what did I write? Right, like the women are over there having to nag at these men. I tell them leave them, cause that shit is taking too much energy. Like you was who when they're at the job, they don't have to. No one has to nag and incentivize them to. Oh, the men will change, and it's not like this comment that says you loved him but wanted him to change. Garbage. These men be saying they love us and they changed into this bullshit to where you're literally crying. But they don't have the empathy, the feels, to see, wow, she's really hurting. This is why we should be leaders. This is why your ass can't be a leader. If you could just so easily turn off your empathy, easily turn off the mindset to actually see, this is why a lot of women should lead. And I'm not going to say a lot of women are weak and can't see these things. And yes, you shouldn't be a leader. But for the most part, many women can do these things 24/7. I don't need no incentives. I don't need to be seen as powerful and get applause for this. Like, it's literally in me to see that someone is hurting and to want to help. I don't need no incentivizations. And so why I will always support these things. Women should be leaders in office, up in the presidents, because we can see and fix these issues that people are dealing with. The men can lead and do their things on their end, because we need male leaders, men who can do the things in general. So both people should be getting the tools and support for that. That's what feminism is for, the equality of that women are getting these opportunities, these tools to be adults, to be leaders, to be inventors, to be scientists, to be in these different fields and of expertise, and be able to still be a wife. Because no one is saying these things about husbands. You still have to show up and do these things as a husband if you at the people's job. And so this is why women should be leaders.